Yes, good morning, everybody. I'm Marie-Josée Montpetit. I'm actually a invited scientist at the Research Lab for Electronics at MIT. And I would like to thank Andrew this morning, and also all the people behind the scene here that have managed to organize all this, you know, virtualization of the conference. So if we can look at the slides, obviously my talk is called Social Television. And social television means a lot of things to a lot of people. And in recent past, social TV has become very, very popular. It's interesting to see that um, people are rediscovering social television in a way of consuming TV while sharing the experience with someone else. But it means a lot of things to other people, and I hope that in the next 20 minutes or so, we can actually shed a little bit light of what's going on in social TV and what is um, coming up in social TV and what is some of the research that we're doing to enable it. Next slide, please. Obviously, these things don't happen on their own, so I would like to thank Muriel Medard, who works with me at RLE, Henry Holtzman, who gives a class with me on social television at the Media Lab, obviously Andrea Basso, who organized my presence here, and also the MIT Media Lab Social TV class, which is my class, which is now a big community on the web and is also like an inspiration for all the work that we do. Next slide, please. So it's interesting for us in the networking world that in the last 10 years, really networking, when we were talking about networking, we're always putting some cabling somewhere in our homes. And I think we all felt really, really good that we could know about all this wiring. But if you go out now and you ask people what they think about networking, most of the time they will answer what's on the next slide. And it's actually Facebook or Twitter. So if networking has gone from cabling to some kind of a virtual community, what has TV been? Next slide, please. So for a lot of people, the TV is still this, it's something in the living room, and it's still very much the case in many homes with people watching around a shared common experience. But is it really that? Next slide, please. The question is now a lot of people asking themselves is, what is TV? Is it a device? Is it a set-top box? Is it the stuff that sends the content to a player? Is it an experience that you see on a screen? Is it an incredible amount of video content that you can get from YouTube, that you can get on demand? Is TV still characters and shows that people truly relate to, and where their stories actually have influenced so many people? Or is it a mix of all of this? Next slide, please. So I think in our view, social television is about TV experiences. And these TV experiences are defined as some kind of content consumption based on a common experience of that content. So for us also, TV is mobile. And mobile means not just devices. A lot of people, when we talk about mobile, they say, oh yeah, it's a cell phone. No, it could be people moving around, and it can be networks that are the mobile networks that follow you in your car or in the bus. It's actually social, but at the same time, it's personal. But when we talk about social, it's not just people this time, but also devices and networks. To paraphrase Henry Holtzman, devices don't stop at their shells and networks don't stop at the gateway, and I'm going to expand a bit on this later. More and more, it's IP based, both over the top. The over the top is this YouTube stuff that you get in the web, and also controlled, this IPTV systems that you get. And really the anywhere, anytime, any device world is upon us. Like we cannot go back. Nobody will go back to having, the broadcast television experience of the 50s. Next slide. So I borrowed this slide from Nokia presentation of a year ago, because it defines very much the space under which we're all working in right now. And social TV is encompassing a lot of all of this. Transaction media, we want to choose what we watch, and this is very much from the web experience. This is, again, a lot of the theme of this conference. Personal programming, yes, again, influenced by the web because we only choose what we want to do, but more and more you have very advanced user interfaces on the web on TV, that allow you to program what you want to watch and when you want to watch it, from DVRs and all kinds of favorites. On the other hand, you have the self-publishing space. It's actually the YouTube, but more and more co-creation of content. In our class, we had very, very interesting presentations by people who actually want to use the TV space for self-publishing their own stuff. And then there's the community TV, and the community TV may mean a lot of things, but if I see that there's people on Facebook today watching this webcast, well, actually, it is a form of community TV. And all of this moves between this lean forward, where you're really active in what you do, and the lean back, where a lot of people, and we had interesting presentations in our class, again, from user experience people who say, well, a lot of people, when they open the TV, they want it to be immediate, they want it to be intimate, they want it to be their own, but they don't want to have to do anything to receive the content. And so you move between this lean forward and this lean back, and between the personal space where it's your stuff and the social space when you're watching it with people. Next slide. So very much TV now is this mix of all kinds of things. It's this lean back where you have the big screen and you don't want to hear about anybody else. You have this lean forward where you're actually watching the TV content, but on a much more active way with friends. And then there's the old one, that was actually the Academy Awards in 2009, where people in India were watching these kids at the Oscars winning their own Oscar, and somebody had the idea of plugging a TV there. And the only thing to introduce the concept of social television that I was thinking would have been really cool is if these people on the screen could have had like tweets or updates of what the kids were thinking at that time. And so this is actually, I would say, the best introduction to the rest of the talk. Next slide. So how is social TV, or the way that we want to communicate with people over TV content, is evolving? And there's disruptive TV technologies now, and we're all aware of it. And again, with the team of this conference, a lot of them were created by the internet, where there's enhanced and interactive experience. Again, I mentioned co-creation and storytelling. Lots of sites on the web allow you to participate in the content creation and in recreating even the well-known stories that we know. You leverage time and place shifting. I mentioned TiVo, but more and more there's all kinds of video content in the cloud that allows you to watch things when you want and where you are. Fully use the home device ecosystem. We will watch TV on the big screen in the living room because it's there, but watch it on a smaller screen in the room or a PC, and more with the iPad this week, probably on a